Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to Superhero Gains, and if it's your first time finding the channel, then welcome to Superhero Gains. So recently I put up a video talking about Ebony and how he was changed for Avengers Infinity War from his comic book iteration. And the response I got was really great. For someone with a small channel like myself, I've only got 74 subscribers as of this morning. The response I got was amazing, and I really enjoyed replying to all you guys in the comments. And it seems I'm not the only one who really liked the changes that they did for Ebony Maw. It seems we've definitely got a few fans of Ebony Maw out there. And it's pretty clear everyone wants more of the Maw, which sounded better in my head. And some of the responses that I got, it got me thinking about the other members of the Black Order and if we could see them return for the sequel next year and possibly future films after that. So in this video we're going to talk about the other members of the Black Order, go through their deaths and whether or not it's possible that some of them could come back. But before we get into that, if you are new to the channel then consider subscribing. It's called Superhero Gains, but it's really just MCU, so if that's what you're into then hit that subscribe button. But anyway, let's get on with this video. So a quick rundown of all the characters. We'll start with Ebony Maw, but won't go too much in detail because I did do the other video last week on that, so if you want to watch that one for more discussion on him, you can click that one. So in Avengers Infinity War, after capturing Doctor Strange, Ebony Maw is defeated by Iron Man and Spider-Man after Spider-Man suggests using the same strategy from Alien to eject him into space. And side note, I actually watched that scene with Alien today, and it's very different than what happens to Ebony Maw. Ebony Maw just gets pulled out into space, nice and clean, no mess. Alien, it's a bit more gruesome, so yeah, you can watch that if you want to. So afterwards we do see Ebony Maw frozen in space, and that's the last we see of him. Now Marvel has never really been clear on who can and who can't survive out in space. We've seen characters like Loki fall off into space at the end of Thor, Iron Man when he carried the rocket through the wormhole, Gamora and Star-Lord have also spent brief periods of time in space unprotected, and Thor spent several hours in space and he turned out totally fine. So we don't really know enough about Ebony Maw to make the decision on whether he could survive in space or not. I think for now it's a bit up in the air, and the writers could have done that so that they have the option to bring him back later if the fans demand that. So Ebony Maw, we may see him again.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
He definitely had some great chemistry with Doctor Strange, and it would be interesting to see a continuation of that at some point in a future film. So fingers crossed. Okay, moving on to Proxima Midnight. So Proxima Midnight met her end after being triple teamed by the likes of Scarlet Witch, Okoye and Black Widow, with Scarlet Witch dealing the final blow using her powers to launch her into the blades of one of their spinning tanks. So basically she went through a meat grinder, which I don't think she's going to walk away from that one. So yeah, not really much to say on that one. I think she's definitely dead and we probably won't see her again. Right, next we have Cull Obsidian, who managed to survive most of the film all the way up until the Battle of Wakanda, during which he ended up in a fight with Bruce Banner wearing the Hulkbuster armor. So Cull Obsidian managed to rip off the Hulkbuster's arm, but then Bruce managed to attach it to him somehow and use it to launch him up into the force field, which kind of caused him to explode and break apart. If you think about it, that force field was a little bit weird. Most force fields in movies like Star Wars, they're either impenetrable and anything that crashes into it just explodes.
Well, have you noticed the shields are still up? Sorry, Master.
Or they end up getting deactivated so that people can get past. But the force field in Wakanda, it seems like you can get through it if you really want to, but doing so is probably going to cut you in half, so not the best strategy really. But anyway, I think Cull Obsidian is dead. Just like Proxima Midnight, it was a pretty visual display and it was a definite clear on-screen death. So probably won't be seeing him anytime soon. Okay, now we come to the final member, and there's a reason I saved this one for last, and that member is Corvus Glaive. So before the Battle of Wakanda commenced, it was implied by Proxima Midnight that Corvus Glaive had died from his injuries after fighting Captain America, Black Widow and Falcon. However, this was just a little trick by the Black Order so that Corvus could sneak into Wakanda and get the Mind Stone from Vision. After defeating Shuri and Ao, he then fights with Vision and Captain America, and during the fight, Vision comes up from behind and stabs Corvus with his own glaive. And this is the problem. I know some characters do get changed from the comics to suit the movies. Ebony Maw is a good example of that, but Corvus Glaive's main thing is that he cannot die as long as his glaive remains intact. As far as I know, even if a single cell is left, he can still regenerate from that as long as his glaive is kept in one piece. So taking a stab to the chest should be absolute child's play to him, and there should be no problem for him to regenerate from that. And we never actually saw what happened to his glaive afterwards, so as far as we know, it's still intact. Which means out of all the Black Order, I think Corvus Glaive is the most likely to return. But that being said, Marvel doesn't seem to like keeping villains around for long. The only exceptions I can think of off the top of my head are Loki, who's more of an anti-hero now than a full-on villain. Red Skull, who was implied to be dead, but in a mysterious way so that it allowed them to bring him back if they wanted to, which they did for Avengers Infinity War. There's Vulture, which could probably be so they can set up a Sinister Six movie in the future. Oh, and of course Thanos. So actually there are a few villains who don't bite the dust on the first time round. But the other thing to consider is that if any of the members of the Black Order did survive, they could have just then been killed during the snap. At the moment, we don't know. Some of the deaths were pretty visual and clear, but again, some of them have been left up in the air a little bit. So maybe the Black Order have a chance of returning, and it could just be something that the writers have done intentionally so that they have the option to bring them back if they want to. But what do you think? Do you think the Black Order will return, and do you even want them to? Did you actually like them in the film? Do you think they were good characters, or do you think they weren't as good villains that got overshadowed by Thanos? Let me know down in the comments. I really do enjoy replying to all your theories and all your opinions, and just hearing all your thoughts in general. But if you're new to the channel, then consider subscribing. If you liked the video, then leave a like, and feel free to check out some of my other videos too. Thanks again for watching, keep making superhero gains, and I'll see you in the next one. I don't know if I'm going to use that as a sign off. I need to work on that. But thanks again guys, take it easy.